Sean Diddy Combs' net worth was estimated at $1 billion before his arrest. Now, as allegations of sex trafficking and forced labor surface from his secret freak-off parties, we're looking at how quickly an empire can crumble. Here's the inside story of the parties that brought down a hip-hop mogul. Sean Combs rose to fame in the early 90s with Bad Boy Records, becoming one of the richest figures in hip-hop. He built an empire spanning music, fashion, and spirits. But behind the scenes, something darker was brewing. Recently, Combs' world came crashing down with his arrest. The shocking contrast between his public image and the allegations is staggering. These secret parties, known as freak-offs, weren't just wild gatherings. They allegedly involved coercion, drugs, and hidden cameras. In this video, we're going to reveal the details of these secret parties and how they led to the downfall of a billionaire. You'll learn about the lawsuits, federal raids, and the evidence that brought Diddy's empire to its knees. Let's take a closer look at how it all unfolded. The lavish lifestyle of Sean Diddy Combs. Before Diddy's empire crumbled, he lived a life of unimaginable luxury. But what did a billion-dollar lifestyle really look like? And how did it mask the dark secrets brewing behind closed doors? Let's take a closer look at the lavish world Sean Diddy Combs built for himself. At the height of his success, Diddy's net worth was estimated at a staggering $1 billion. This made him one of the wealthiest figures in hip-hop, with an empire spanning music, fashion, and spirits. But how did he spend all that money? Well, Diddy wasn't shy about flaunting his wealth. One of the most visible signs of Diddy's extravagant lifestyle was his collection of properties. He owned multiple luxurious homes, including mansions in Los Angeles and Miami. These weren't just any houses. They were sprawling estates with all the amenities you'd expect from a hip-hop mogul. But Diddy's luxury didn't stop at real estate. He was known for his fleet of high-end vehicles, each one more expensive than the last. And when he wanted to travel in style, Diddy had his own private jet, allowing him to jet set around the world at a moment's notice. Diddy's parties were legendary, often featuring A-list celebrity guests, expensive alcohol flowing freely, and over-the-top decorations. These weren't just your average get-togethers. They were events that people talked about for weeks afterward. One incident in particular gives us a glimpse into just how extravagant these parties could be. In 2012, one of Diddy's infamous freak-off parties in Manhattan reportedly cost him $46,000, not for the party itself, but just to cover damages to a penthouse room. That's more than many people make in a year, spent on repairs for a single night of partying. But it wasn't just about material possessions for Diddy. He also invested heavily in his image and lifestyle. From designer clothes to expensive watches, every aspect of his appearance was carefully curated to project an image of success and wealth. Diddy's extravagant spending wasn't limited to himself either. He was known for his generosity, often showering his friends and associates with expensive gifts. This added to his reputation as a larger-than-life figure in the entertainment industry. All of this luxury and excess painted a picture of a man at the top of his game, living a life that many could only dream of. Diddy seemed to have it all: fame, fortune, and a lifestyle that matched his status as a hip-hop icon. The secret world of freak-offs. Diddy's empire was built on extravagance, but it crumbled due to excess of a different kind. The term freak-off might sound like harmless fun, but the reality was far more sinister. What were these secret events, and why did they spell disaster for one of hip-hop's biggest names? Freak-offs were more than just wild parties. They were elaborate, orchestrated events that allegedly involved sex workers, drugs, and coercion. According to legal documents, these parties were central to the allegations against Sean Diddy Combs. They weren't your typical celebrity gatherings. They were described as performances that sometimes lasted for days. At these events, Combs reportedly maintained a strict level of control. He allegedly directed and recorded the activities, often participating himself. The environment was one of power and manipulation, with Combs at the helm. This wasn't just about having a good time, it was about exerting dominance and control over the participants. The use of drugs played a significant role in these freak-offs. Combs allegedly used substances like ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB to control the participants. These drugs were reportedly used to ensure compliance and obedience from those involved. It's a shocking example of how substances can be used as tools of manipulation in these high-pressure environments. The physical toll of these events was extreme. Witnesses reported that participants often required IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. This gives us an idea of just how intense and prolonged these freak-offs could be. They weren't just parties. They were marathons of excess that pushed people to their limits. The scale of these events is hard to comprehend. Federal authorities seized over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricants from Combs' properties. These items were allegedly used during the sexual acts that took place at the freak-offs. It's a staggering amount that hints at the frequency and intensity of these gatherings. Coercion was reportedly a key element of these events. Combs allegedly used threats and violence to maintain control over the individuals involved. This wasn't just about convincing people to participate, it was about creating an environment of fear and intimidation to keep them in line. The commercial aspect of these freak-offs can't be ignored. They often involved multiple commercial sex workers, blurring the lines between a private party and a potentially illegal operation. This element would later play a crucial role in the legal troubles Combs faced. These parties weren't just a one-time thing. They were reportedly a regular occurrence, sometimes lasting for days at a time. This consistency suggests that they were more than just spontaneous events. They were a structured part of Combs' lifestyle. The contrast between Combs' public image and these private activities is stark. While he was known for his lavish parties and extravagant lifestyle, the freak-offs took things to a whole new level. They represent a dark underbelly to the glitz and glamour of celebrity life. The hidden cameras. While Diddy's public image sparkled, his private residences held shocking secrets. Cameras hidden throughout his home silently recorded it all. What did these lenses capture, and how did they become central to the case against one of hip-hop's biggest names? The answer lies in the hidden surveillance network allegedly set up in Sean Diddy Combs' properties. These weren't just any cameras, they were strategically placed devices designed to capture every moment of the infamous freak-off parties. According to reports, these cameras were installed in Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Star Island, turning his luxurious retreats into high-tech recording studios. These hidden cameras weren't just for show. They reportedly captured hours of footage from the freak-off parties, recording activities that would later become crucial evidence in the case against Combs. The cameras allegedly documented scenes of drug use, sexual acts, and what prosecutors describe as coercion and manipulation. The existence of these recordings adds a new layer to the allegations against Combs. It's not just about what happened at these parties, it's about the intentional documentation of these events. This suggests a level of premeditation that goes beyond simply hosting wild gatherings. Federal authorities seized these recordings during raids on Combs' properties. The content of these videos is said to be damning, providing visual evidence to support the allegations made in various lawsuits against the hip-hop mogul. It's a stark reminder of how technology can turn private moments into potential legal nightmares. But why would Combs allegedly record these events? Some reports suggest that the recordings were used as a form of leverage. By capturing compromising footage of party attendees, Combs could potentially ensure their silence or compliance. It's a tactic that, if true, speaks to a calculated approach to maintaining control over those in his inner circle, from parties to criminal enterprise. What transformed Diddy's image from music mogul to alleged criminal mastermind? The evidence points to a shocking operation that goes far beyond typical celebrity excess. At what point does a party become a crime? For Diddy, that line was crossed in ways you might not expect. The infamous freak-offs weren't just morally questionable gatherings. They were allegedly part of a structured criminal enterprise that's now at the center of a federal investigation. These weren't your average wild celebrity parties. According to legal documents, the freak-offs involved serious allegations of sex trafficking, forced labor, and illegal substance use. It's a far cry from the image of a successful businessman that Diddy had cultivated over the years. The scale of these events is hard to comprehend. During federal raids on Combs' properties, authorities seized over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricants. These items were allegedly used during the sexual acts that took place at the freak-offs. It's a staggering amount that hints at the frequency and intensity of these gatherings. But it's not just about the quantity of items seized, it's about what they represent. These freak-offs weren't isolated incidents. They were reportedly regular occurrences, sometimes lasting for days at a time. This consistency suggests that they were more than just spontaneous events. They were a structured part of Combs' lifestyle. The legal implications of these parties are severe. The indictment against Combs includes charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and transportation for purposes of prostitution. These charges indicate a serious escalation in the legal consequences of his actions. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams shed light on the severity of the allegations, stating, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. This statement paints a picture of a man who allegedly used his power and influence to create a culture of fear and exploitation. The legal narrative portrays Combs as having created a criminal enterprise that exploited his wealth and status. It's a stark contrast to the image of a successful music mogul and entrepreneur that he had cultivated over decades. This shift in perception is perhaps one of the most shocking aspects of the case. The alleged use of drugs at these events adds another layer of criminality. Combs reportedly used substances like ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB to control the participants. These drugs were allegedly used to ensure compliance and obedience from those involved. It's a disturbing example of how substances can be used as tools of manipulation in high-pressure environments. The commercial aspect of these freak-offs can't be ignored. They often involved multiple commercial sex workers, blurring the lines between a private party and a potentially illegal operation. This element plays a crucial role in the sex trafficking charges that Combs now faces. What's particularly shocking is how these activities allegedly persisted for years, hidden behind the glitz and glamour of Combs' public persona. It raises questions about the culture of silence and complicity that can exist in the entertainment industry, allowing such behavior to continue unchecked. The contrast between Combs' public image and these private activities is stark. While he was known for his lavish parties and extravagant lifestyle, the freak-offs took things to a whole new level. They represent a dark underbelly to the glitz and glamour of celebrity life that many find hard to reconcile with the Diddy they thought they knew. The lawsuit that started it all. When the public saw the glitz, someone close to Diddy was living a nightmare. Her decision to come forward would change everything. What pushed her to finally break her silence after years of alleged abuse? Cassie Ventura, a name that would become synonymous with the downfall of Sean Diddy Combs, filed a lawsuit against him on November 16, 2023. This wasn't just another celebrity legal dispute. It was the spark that would ignite a firestorm of allegations and investigations, ultimately leading to the arrest of one of hip-hop's most influential figures. Ventura's lawsuit painted a disturbing picture of her relationship with Combs. She described him as prone to uncontrollable rage, detailing instances of savage beatings and coercion into sexual acts. According to the legal documents, Combs allegedly forced Cassie to have sex with other men while he watched, a chilling precursor to the freak-off parties that would later come to light. But the allegations didn't stop there. Cassie claimed that Combs would ply her with drugs and even raped her in their home as she attempted to end their relationship in 2018. These accusations were shocking, not just for their content, but for the stark contrast they presented to Combs' carefully cultivated public image. The impact of Cassie's lawsuit was immediate and far-reaching. Just one day after it was filed, Combs and Ventura reached a settlement. Combs stated, "We have decided to resolve this matter amicably. I wish Cassie and her family all the best." But the genie was already out of the bottle, and the floodgates were about to open. Following Cassie's accusations, 2 additional women filed lawsuits against Combs, alleging sexual assault and abuse. These new allegations highlighted a pattern of behavior that extended back to the early 1990s, long before Combs had reached the pinnacle of his fame and success. One of these women, Joy Dickerson-Neal, claimed that Combs drugged and sexually assaulted her in 1991, recording the incident without her consent. This allegation eerily echoed the hidden camera revelations that would later come to light in Combs's properties. Cassie's bravery in coming forward inspired others to share their stories. An attorney for one of the additional accusers stated, "It was seeing Cassie file her lawsuit and go public that really gave her a sense of empowerment." This statement underscores the ripple effect that a single act of courage can have in cases involving powerful figures. The lawsuits filed against Combs, particularly Cassies, opened the floodgates for additional allegations, leading to federal investigations into his conduct. What started as a single lawsuit quickly snowballed into a much larger scrutiny of Combs' relationships with women and his behavior behind closed doors. Throughout this legal storm, Combs has consistently denied all allegations. His representatives claim that the accusations are false and part of a broader effort to exploit his celebrity status for financial gain. However, the sheer number of allegations and the detailed nature of the claims have cast a long shadow over Combs' once pristine public image. The Cassie Ventura lawsuit marked a turning point in the Sean Diddy Combs saga. It was the first domino to fall, setting off a chain reaction that would ultimately lead to federal raids, criminal charges, and the potential dismantling of a hip-hop empire. Her courage in speaking out against a powerful figure in the music industry opened the door for others to come forward with their own stories of alleged abuse and exploitation. The federal investigation. Like accusations mounted, federal authorities prepared to make their move. When they finally knocked on Diddy's door, they weren't just looking for evidence. They were dismantling an alleged criminal enterprise hidden behind the glitz of celebrity. What secrets did his luxury homes hold? The federal investigation into Sean Diddy Combs was far from a routine inquiry. It was a coordinated effort that culminated in dramatic raids on his properties in Los Angeles and Miami in March 2024. These weren't just any homes. They were sprawling estates that had once been symbols of Diddy's success. Now, they were crime scenes. When federal agents entered Combs' residences, they weren't just looking for run-of-the-mill evidence. They were searching for proof of a long-standing criminal enterprise. What they found was shocking, even to seasoned investigators. During the raids, authorities seized a variety of items that painted a disturbing picture of what allegedly went on behind closed doors. Among the most startling discoveries were over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. These items were reportedly used during the now infamous freak-off parties, providing tangible evidence of the scale and nature of these events. But the discoveries didn't stop there. In Combs' hotel room, agents found bags of pink powder. While not immediately tested, prosecutors suggested these might be narcotics, adding another layer to the allegations of drug use at these parties. Perhaps the most damning evidence came in digital form. Multiple electronic devices were seized during the raids. These devices were believed to contain recordings of the freak-off parties, potentially corroborating the accounts of witnesses and accusers. The existence of these recordings turned what might have been a case of he said, she said into something far more concrete. The scale of the investigation was massive. Over 50 witnesses were interviewed, each adding pieces to the puzzle of Combs' alleged activities. Their testimonies, combined with the physical evidence found during the raids, formed the backbone of the case against the hip-hop mogul. This evidence proved crucial in Combs' arrest and the subsequent legal proceedings. The items seized during the raids provided prosecutors with tangible proof to support the allegations of sex trafficking, forced labor, and illegal substance use. What had once been whispered rumors now had physical evidence to back them up. Witness, tampering, and intimidation. As the public reeled from images of the raid, prosecutors were building a case that went far beyond physical evidence. They claimed Diddy's attempts to silence witnesses revealed a darker side of the mogul's power. How far would he go to protect his image? The answer, according to federal prosecutors, was shocking. Sean Diddy Combs allegedly engaged in a pattern of witness tampering and intimidation that spanned years. These weren't just isolated incidents, but a calculated effort to maintain control over those who could potentially speak out against him. One of the most alarming allegations involves a violent incident at a Los Angeles hotel in 2016. Prosecutors claim that Combs' employees tried to ensure his ex-girlfriend and hotel staff wouldn't talk about what happened. This wasn't just about damage control, it was about actively silencing potential witnesses. But the story gets even more interesting. The video evidence of this incident, which had been deleted from the hotel's server, mysteriously resurfaced later. This raised serious questions about attempts to cover up the event and manipulate potential evidence. Combs' alleged tactics weren't limited to this one incident. Prosecutors painted a picture of a man who routinely used his power and influence to control narratives. They claim he would record phone calls to victims, asking for their support and friendship. These weren't friendly check-ins. They were attempts to manipulate people's stories and keep them in line. The scale of these alleged intimidation tactics is hard to comprehend. Prosecutors stated that Combs contacted multiple witnesses after learning about the criminal investigation. This wasn't just about one or two people. It was a pattern of behavior aimed at influencing testimonies across the board. These allegations of witness tampering played a crucial role in the legal proceedings against Combs. When it came time to decide on bail, prosecutors argued strongly against it. They cited Combs' history of coercing victims and attempting to influence witnesses as key reasons why he should be considered a flight risk and a danger to the community. The prosecution's argument was clear and forceful. They stated, "There are simply no conditions that would ensure that the defendant's efforts to obstruct and tamper with witnesses will stop." This wasn't just about the potential for future crimes, it was about the very real possibility that Combs would continue to try and manipulate the case from the outside. Combs' defense team pushed back against these claims. They argued that he had been cooperative, even coming to New York to face the charges. But in the end, the judge sided with the prosecution. The allegations of witness tampering and intimidation were simply too serious to ignore. The decision to deny bail was a significant blow to Combs' legal strategy. It meant that he would have to face the charges from behind bars, unable to use his considerable resources and influence to shape the narrative from the outside. For a man accustomed to controlling his image, this was a stark reversal of fortune. These allegations of witness tampering add another layer to the already complex case against Sean Diddy Combs. They suggest that the freak-off parties and other alleged crimes weren't just isolated incidents, but part of a larger pattern of behavior aimed at maintaining control and silencing potential critics. Me Too movement and Diddy's case. The fall of Sean Diddy Combs isn't just another celebrity scandal. It's a stark reminder of how the cultural landscape has shifted in recent years. The Me Too movement has fundamentally changed how we view power dynamics in the entertainment industry. But how exactly does Diddy's case fit into this broader picture? And what does it reveal about the changing nature of celebrity influence? Diddy's arrest comes at a time when the Me Too movement has already reshaped public perception of powerful figures in entertainment. His case is seen as yet another example of how fame and influence can be used to exploit others. The allegations against Combs span decades, but it's only now that they're coming to light in such a public and consequential way. The timing of these revelations is crucial. Just a few years ago, accusations like these might have been quietly settled or dismissed, but the Me Too movement has created an environment where victims feel more empowered to come forward. It's also made the public more willing to listen and believe these stories, even when they involve beloved celebrities. In Diddy's case, we're seeing how this shift in cultural attitudes can impact even the most seemingly untouchable figures. For years, Combs was seen as a hip-hop mogul, a successful businessman, and a cultural icon. Now that carefully crafted image is crumbling in the face of serious allegations. The impact of the Me Too movement is clear in how these accusations are being handled. Prosecutors are taking a hard line, emphasizing the seriousness of the charges and the importance of holding powerful figures accountable. As one lawyer representing accusers noted, many victims had suffered in silence until recently. The courage of one accuser, in this case Cassies Ventura, provided others with the strength to come forward. This case also highlights the challenges that victims face when accusing powerful individuals. Prosecutors emphasize this point, stating, "Mr. Combs is a very powerful individual. It's very difficult to come out against someone like Mr. Combs." This acknowledgement reflects a growing understanding of the complexities involved in cases where there's a significant power imbalance. Public reaction to Diddy's case has been markedly different from how similar accusations might have been received in the past. there's less willingness to dismiss or downplay the allegations and more focus on supporting and believing victims. This shift in public opinion is a direct result of the conversations and awareness raised by the Me Too movement. Of course, Diddy's legal team is fighting back against these accusations. His attorney framed the case as a matter of injustice rather than guilt, asserting, "These are the acts of an innocent man with nothing to hide." This defense strategy reflects a common approach among those accused in the Me Too era, attempting to shift the narrative towards victimization of the accused. Celebrity reactions and industry impact. Acting as the music industry grapples with Diddy's downfall, a storm of reactions has erupted from his peers. But which artists are standing by him, and who's cutting ties? The responses paint a complex picture of loyalty, self-preservation, and changing industry norms. The arrest of Sean Diddy Combs has sent shockwaves through the entertainment world, prompting a wide range of reactions from fellow celebrities. Some have expressed shock and disbelief, while others have taken the opportunity to distance themselves from the embattled hip-hop mogul. One of the most vocal reactions came from rapper Shine, who has a complicated history with Diddy. Shine didn't hold back, stating, "When I was an 18-year-old kid just wanting to do nothing other than make my mother proud, he turned around and called witnesses to testify against me." This statement reflects a long-standing resentment and suggests a broader sentiment of betrayal within the industry. In contrast, 50 Cent, known for his ongoing feud with Diddy, took a different approach. He responded to the arrest with public mockery, showcasing how rivalries in the industry can intensify following such scandals. 50 Cent's reaction highlights the complex relationships and power dynamics at play in the hip-hop world. The range of responses from celebrities reveals the delicate balance many are trying to strike. Some are expressing disbelief at the allegations, while others are choosing to distance themselves from Diddy. This split reaction indicates the potential long-term impacts on his relationships and collaborations within the industry. An attorney representing several of Diddy's accusers remarked, "We knew this was coming. The evidence is very clear, and it was only a matter of time. This is an important step towards justice for all of Mr. Combs' victims." This statement underscores the anticipation among accusers and their advocates regarding the legal proceedings. The fallout from Diddy's arrest and the subsequent legal battles could have lasting repercussions on his business empire. There's potential for loss of endorsements and partnerships as companies reassess their associations with him. This situation serves as a reminder of how quickly fortunes can change in the entertainment industry. Many celebrities are now faced with a difficult decision: stand by a longtime friend and collaborator, or distance themselves to protect their own reputation. This dilemma is playing out publicly, with some offering cautious support and others remaining conspicuously silent. The reactions to Diddy's case also highlight the changing landscape of celebrity culture. In the past, such allegations might have been more easily dismissed or overlooked. Now, in the era of social media and increased accountability, celebrities are under more pressure to address these issues head-on. The music industry as a whole is watching this case closely. Diddy's influence extends far beyond his own music, encompassing record labels, fashion lines, and other business ventures. The outcome of this case could have ripple effects throughout these industries, potentially changing how business is conducted and partnerships are formed. For up-and-coming artists, Diddy's case serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and influence. Many are likely reassessing their own practices and relationships within the industry, wary of becoming entangled in similar situations. Legal and social repercussions. Just when the dust settles on his arrest, a new reality is emerging that could reshape the very foundations of celebrity culture. The implications of this high-profile case stretch far beyond Diddy's career, raising crucial questions about power, accountability, and the future of the music business. Combs' arrest has sparked broader discussions about celebrity accountability and how the legal system handles cases involving high-profile individuals. The sheer scale of the allegations against him, combined with his immense wealth and influence, has put a spotlight on the challenges of prosecuting powerful figures. It's not just about proving guilt or innocence. It's about navigating a complex web of power dynamics, media scrutiny, and public perception. One of the most significant aspects of this case is how it's being handled by the legal system. Prosecutors have taken a hard line, emphasizing the seriousness of the charges and the importance of holding powerful figures accountable. This approach reflects a growing intolerance for misconduct by celebrities, even those who were once considered untouchable. Combs' defense attorney has pushed back against these allegations, arguing that the acts in question involved consenting adults rather than coercion or trafficking. This defense strategy highlights the complex nature of cases involving powerful individuals, where consent and power dynamics often intersect in complicated ways. The fallout from Combs' arrest has ignited discussions about the music industry's culture, specifically regarding how influential figures can exploit their status and avoid accountability for misconduct. This case serves as a stark reminder of the potential for abuse in an industry where power imbalances are common and aspiring artists are often vulnerable. The ongoing investigation and multiple lawsuits against Combs indicate a potential shift in how the legal system addresses allegations against celebrities. This could lead to systemic changes in the entertainment industry, forcing companies and individuals to reevaluate their practices and relationships. One of the most significant potential outcomes of this case is its impact on future generations in the music industry. Young artists and executives are watching closely, learning valuable lessons about the consequences of unchecked power and the importance of ethical behavior. This could lead to a cultural shift within the industry, with more emphasis placed on accountability and respect.